What's going on with everybody, man? Welcome back to No Filter Chelsea with your boy Jason. So we just finished up a game here. I've been out for a few days. Work has really gone. I've been consumed with work, honestly, and I've been having a lot of family stuff, a lot of family events to do. So haven't really been able to get behind the camera and start recording. But we just finished off a game here. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2 at Stamford Bridge. Um, there's a lot to talk about here. The performance itself wasn't bad. There's just a few things that really frustrated me today. And it comes from an unlikely source, given how good he's been this season. So if you like these kind of videos, you like soccer, sports, current events, anything like that, drop a like, sub, comment, bell notifications, ring those as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the first leg against Arsenal and if Chelsea have a chance when we go to the Emirates in the beginning of February and possibly steal a spot in the final. So, without further ado, we will get into this review. So, I'm not going to make this a terribly long review. It's just the first leg of the Carabao Cup or the semifinal in the Carabao Cup. Um, a few things that really frustrated me today was Robert Sanchez. Now, he's been good for majority of this season. You would say his one error this season before tonight's two errors and multiple errors with his distribution was the red card at Manchester United, where he got sent off. We were down to 10 men, also the same game where we last saw Cole Palmer before he came back in the middle part of December, along with other players that were missing, that went missing in that game that had to come out because Robert Sanchez got the red card, like Esteval had to come off in that game, and we played very defensive. Even though Man United got sent down to 10 men in that same game, we still, for large parts of that game, played pretty well with 10 men. In today's game, this is where Liam Rosenior needs to adapt very quickly to the Prem, or just playing against English opposition, the top opposition. Top opponents are not gonna allow you to play out of the back. And the issue that we had today, and it's why a lot of the times Arsenal could put away 6 or 7 goals today because of the silly mistakes, the errant passes, and the poor decision making that Robert Sanchez had in goal today. We go over the first goal that Arsenal score in the 7th minute. It's a decent ball into the box from Declan Rice, who's a specialist at corners, the way that he whips the ball in. And I'm going to give credit to Arsenal players when they deserve credit. Declan Rice today played exceptional. Zubamendi played an exceptional game in midfield, dictating pace in midfield, playing the correct passes, got himself a goal, sat down a couple of our players, scored a wonderful goal with his left foot. And he's not a goal scorer. But this is the unselfishness when we get into their third goal that I want to see this team play with, where the patterns of play in the box are all interconnected, they're coherent with each other, and the chemistry is just outrageous. You know, the second goal that Arsenal scored today, it's just despicable from Robert Sanchez. We haven't really seen a game like this from him all season, and now we see it in a cup semifinal against one of your greatest rivals. Now, I'm not gonna be too harsh on him because he's got credit in the bank from over the summer and with the tail end of last season, how he played, and even for large parts of this season, there's an argument that he could be one of our players of the season with the amount of goals that he has stopped from going in the back of the net. He's not necessarily he's not really a world-class goalkeeper, but what he is a great shot stopper, but his ball distribution needs work. It's gotten better this season. He's limited his mistakes, but today, the passing, the when to come out for the ball on the first goal, he jumps the cross too early and it leaves the goal essentially wide open. A VAR check was looking to see if Gyökeres was offside, but the issue was that if Robert Sanchez was standing on his line and Gyökeres was there, that would have been chopped off for offside, but because Robert Sanchez came out for the ball so early, it allowed Ben White to have a free header, and Gyökeres is just trying to get anything that gets to that back post, but it got to Ben White first. They're up 1-0. They go. We have a good response to the goal. For parts of the first half, there were good moments, Esteval specifically, and I'm going to touch on him in his own separate part of this video because that kid deserves to be playing week in and week out. But to get into the third goal that Arsenal scored today, this is where the quality that Arsenal have really started to show itself. And this is why we are so far off of them right now. We're nowhere near them in terms of where they are in terms of their project that Arteta has been there for about 5 seasons, and he has been able to completely get these players on board with the objective in mind of winning the Premier League and getting whatever trophies come in front of that. The third goal today, good interplay between Saka, Gyökeres, Odegaard. Zubimendi, he gets the ball in the box, sits down one player, fakes out the next player, a wonderful strike into that. And no goalkeeper in the world is saving that. I thought at 3-1, this tie was over, right? But when we get into the Chelsea goals, Alejandro Garnacho, this is why I keep saying he needs to be the guy that is on the left-hand side for this season. Why? Because he'll take a risk, and it doesn't matter how many times he fails to get by his man. The directness and the intention to look to just be decisive is what I'm looking for in a winger. Now, he should be able to be a bit more, unpredictable with how he's trying to get by by the opposing fullback because it's generally a 2, 3 touches, he does a few step overs, and then he tries to go down the line, but I never really see him, honestly, cut inside enough, even though he's a left winger and he scored a lot of his goals by cutting inside, but I'm talking about when he drives at his fullback and he's cutting inside to create more problems for their center backs, because when you're a winger and you're trying to beat your fullback, the objective is to get as close to goal as possible, not take it down the line a- and then play a near on impossible cross to where nobody can get on the end of it. I want my wingers to cut inside. Even if you're left footed, you can still cut inside and still do something on your left foot. You can still be a right footed player on the right hand side and still cut inside, but it's generally tailor made for players that are dominant on the opposite foot that they're playing on, right? So this is where I'm getting into Esteval. The kid is 18 years old. Clearly, he is the future of Brazil, a future Ballon d'Or winner. And the way that he played today, this is why I want him playing week in and week out. This is why we need somebody as free flowing as him. And he's a risk taker. He creates chaos. He had Timber for the most part set back because usually Timber is up in the attack, but with Esteval staying high and wide, Esteval being as tricky and as dynamic and as chaotic as he is, you're forcing one of their fullbacks to stay back. Now, when we talk about his shooting, the kid has some type of venom in his boots where every time it comes off that left foot, specifically his left foot, there's a different type of movement on that ball. And even on his right foot, he has a good strike with it. But when he's on that right hand side and he's cutting in, he puts a certain type of whip on that ball where every time he shoots it, it looks like it's goal bound. Every time he crosses the ball, it looks like it's going to cause an issue. Every time that he gets by someone, it's causing the center backs and the fullbacks to have second thoughts of how am I going to stop this guy? Now, he's 18 years old, right? So the yellow card he got today falls in the disciplinary issue that this team still has. We picked up 5 yellow cards in this game. Now, luckily enough, no one is gonna miss, the return leg at the Emirates. So I'm expecting a Cole Palmer to be in this lineup. I'm expecting, excuse me, a Reece James to be in this lineup. I'm expecting Esteval to keep his spot at the Emirates. João Pedro today. Let me just say this. You're in the number 10 position today because Palmer's not in the squad. Mark Gu starts because Liam Delap had an illness before the game today. For João Pedro to essentially now we have a sample size of 6, 7 months of him being in this club. I saw something from Alex Goldberg on X earlier saying that I just hope that the João Pedro cameo that he made at the Club World Cup isn't the only time that he's gonna show up this in a Chelsea shirt. Now, I do believe that is blasphemous. I do believe that he's gonna figure it out, but for the past 4 months now, I would say about 4 months, he's had a dip in form that is concerning me about did we spend 60 million on the wrong guy? I don't want to believe that because I believe in João Pedro. I just think he's in a weird patch of form and he's not playing in his favorite position, which is the number 10 position. But when you have Palmer in that position, unless we play with two tens, then I don't see a world where Palmer and João Pedro can be two number 10s on the pitch at the same time. I would love to see it because I believe they can bounce off each other spectacularly. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of issues that this team needs to figure out. Give me a second. Sorry about that weird cut. I had to go open up the door for somebody. They drop a package off. But um yeah, I mean, I'm expecting in the second leg not a similar performance, but what I'm looking for is you have to go to the Emirates knowing that all the pressure is on Arsenal to maintain that 3-2 lead and add to it. If we score the first goal at the Emirates, it's going to cause them to panic it's going to cause, in my opinion, unrest within the Arsenal crowd, within the supporters, because they walked into this game today knowing that there's a new manager. We don't have our best players in the squad right now. No Caicedo, no Reece James, no Palmer, right? No Liam Delap, even though I don't consider him one of our top 10 players at all right now. But we have to go to the Emirates in a few weeks' time playing with house money, knowing that all the pressure will be on Arsenal to close the deal and get to Wembley. But who's to say that we can't go there and actually do a job on them with a fully fit squad, with Rosinha at that point having a few more weeks under the belt, and hopefully our form by then will have picked up because in that space we have two Champions League games that we have to play, one against Paphos at the Bridge, and then another game in Naples against Napoli, who are in decent form in Serie A right now. So that's not going to be an easy game to just go down to Naples and go rip apart Napoli. That's not going to happen. That's going to be a very difficult game to get to manage and get through. But overall, the 3-2 result at the Bridge is not the worst result if you're looking to go to the Emirates and actually try to go win, right? But with that being said, I'm Jason. This is No Filter Chels. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, sub, drop your comments down here, share your thoughts, bell notification, ring those as well. Next video, I'm looking up some stuff to see what I can do, what I can like just talk about. But the next preview for Chelsea Brentford at the Bridge, remember January 17th, Chelsea fans. Make your voices heard, show up and show out. Let Blueco and Clear Lake know we do not need them in the club anymore. We need them to get the hell out of the club. Show up, show out. Match going fans who are attending that game on the 17th. I am imploring you guys from the United States, from California, get the voices out. As an American Chelsea fan, I despise what they are doing to that club, to my club. to your guys' club, to our club. We need to get them out. So, with that being said, January 17th, show up and show out for that protest. Online personalities, anybody that is a Chelsea fan, keep pushing the message. Blue Co out, Clear Lake out, Egg Bali out. Get these sporting directors out as well. And let's get our club back and let's get back to restoring order at this prestigious club. I'm Jason, No Filter Chelsea. I appreciate you guys watching.